right, welcome back for those of you who have been tuning in before, and welcome to people who are just checking out these videos for the very first time. I appreciate you being here. A big part of what I'm trying to explore in my own playing and the things that I try and instill in my students is to get the most out of every piece of rhythmic information we get. So if you learn a rhythm in your hand, you should learn it in the other hand. If you learn it in your hand, you should try and learn it in your feet. And the more ways that you can combine these fairly simple elements of rhythm, the deeper and more expansive your rhythm gets. So today, I'm going to be concentrating on one rhythm on the drum, which should be familiar to most people who have done any playing, whether you're playing in a traditional setting or in a band setting, or even if you're playing in a drum circle setting, you've heard this rhythm before. In the Afro-Cuban tradition, we call this Santos, and it goes like this. It's also referred to sometimes as hand over hand, but whatever name it's been given, hopefully you've seen this. If you haven't yet, I'm sure you will run into it. It's a very important rhythm, one that is used in a lot of circumstances. So what I want to show today is how having an understanding of patterns that can be going on underneath this, whether just having them consciously in your head or physically expressing them with a bell. I have a bell on my left foot. Look, ma, no hands. Can change the nature of this one rhythm. I'm only going to be playing this Santos rhythm on the drum, but I'm going to be changing and giving some variations on what I'm playing on the bell. So I'm going to start with a half note pulse on the bell. Remember, to get through one cycle of the bell pattern takes 4 basses on this drum. Boom. That's one cycle of the bell plus a downbeat at the end. So if I play a half note pulse, that means that I'm going to be playing the bell with every other bass that I play on this drum. It sounds like this. Half note pulse might be something that like a shakere player is playing. So now you're representing the drum part and a shakere part. I can also play the pulse, which means every time I play the bass, I'm playing the bell. 1, 2, here I go. So this feels a little different than the half note pulse. So far, these bell patterns have been very simple, but by changing it or combining them, we get this drum pattern to have a little more nuance and a little more emphasis to work with. So now, I'm going to keep this same drum pattern, and on the bell, I'm going to play the upbeats. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all the even numbers. We're getting a little trickier on the bell, but if you keep these in your head as you play, it'll still make an impact on how this rhythm sounds. So check it out. And again, rhythmically, this sounds like this. I'm just going to play the bell. Now this sounds really simple, but you might not be hearing it in the right space, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I bet some of you were hearing it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and that's not where it is. Now that I switched my brain over, I can't switch back. Ah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to try it again. So again, so far, all I've played is these single repeating notes. 3 different ways, but that have very different effects on what the relationship with the drum is. Now we're going to go a little deeper. I'm going to play the bell pattern, the 6/8 bell with the bell while playing this pattern. This 6/8 bell pattern is something I've covered earlier. If you have not seen it or not familiar with it, this is a super important pattern. It is super, super important. In fact, one of my teachers emphasized every time I would get together with him, you're playing the bell. And actually, most of my teachers have said this, because if you can play the bell, that gives the roadmap for all the drum stuff. So do not skip over your bell work. Learn how to clap the bell. Learn how to sing the bell. Learn how to play the bell on your drum. Learn how to play it on your foot. All of these things will combine to serve you to give you a lot of variety in your playing with just a little bit of information to retain. You just have to take that information in really deep. All right, so here is the bell pattern, and just as a quick refresher, the bell pattern plays on the odd numbers in the first measure plus beat 6, and then it plays on the even numbers in the second measure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. I'm going to play that with the foot, with Santos on the drum, and here's how it sounds. So this one's a little more intricate, obviously. First, you may want to try singing it, like ga 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 ga. It's another way of interpreting this rhythm, and it still adds to what's happening on the drum. I've got one more rhythm that I want to do today, and this one's really cool. I'm going to do another little video piece of this that is going to be earlier that will show how these bells work together. I think this one's fascinating. But this is just cycles of 3, and again, I'm just going to play it on the bell. You can check it out here. It goes like this. Now, if you hear this like this, it can make it stable, but it's not particularly interesting. But if you change where this falls, it becomes a really hip interplay between the bell and the pulse. So this is where we're actually going to feel this bell. It's going to go like this. And because I'm just playing a pulse, or clapping a pulse with my hand, that's what's going to be happening with the bass notes of this rhythm. So I'm going to put these two together and take a listen to what it sounds like with the interplay of these two. And just so you know, the bell part is happening on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So with all these rhythms in today's video, literally all you have to be able to do is count to 6 twice and slowly plug these rhythms in, and you'll have it. That's one thing that I like about these rhythms. Although they seem to have a certain complexity to them, they're actually pretty simple. If you can count to 6, you can figure this out. And if you're patient with yourself, again, if you're patient with yourself, that's very important. If you're patient with yourself, you can teach your body how to fall into these rhythms. It takes a while, but it's worth it, because once you have them, again, you've got all these varieties of rhythm without having to learn more and more and more and more information. You're just learning deeper and deeper and deeper information. And that's the place that I'm coming from, and the information that I try to share with people. So you don't have to memorize a ton of stuff. You get a few things, and then you really figure out what they have to offer. So again, with this bell pattern and Santos, here we go. We have you may not be ready to tackle all these rhythms, but everybody can be ready to work with that half note pulse or the pulse. That's where you start. Feel where that is, and then start figuring out, okay, well, how do these other things relate to it? So I'm going to take a brief moment in our last couple minutes on this video, and I'm going to go through all of these different things just in a row so that you can hear what it sounds like to transition from one to the next, so that you can take one pattern on the drum, keep it nice and solid, and then make it seem like things are changing just by having a different awareness or expressing a different rhythm with your foot. Or you can do this with your hand. You know, there's a lot of different ways that this can be done. You can do it with your voice. This is just some ideas to get your brain going, like, okay, well, how many different ways can I express this one pattern, so that I don't have to go and learn the next pattern yet, and then dig deep into what the contents of that rhythm are. All right, here we go. Sweating that last one a little bit. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you take away just the idea that you can use simple things, simple rhythms, things that are accessible to you now with a little bit of practice, to expand what you're able to do on the drums, with your hands and your feet, with different percussion instruments. I could have used just a couple bells and done this same demonstration. There's a lot of different ways to voice these rhythmic relationships, and they're all really cool, and it makes it so that when you get one piece of information, you can expand it pretty much to an infinite combination of sounds and voicings that will fit any situation that you find yourself in, and will allow things to maintain a certain freshness within each piece, and to give each piece their own distinct quality and sound. Check it out. Learn deeply these rhythms. Don't just gloss over them and then move to the next one. Learn them for real and you'll have something to work with. Really appreciate you watching. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm really enjoying making these videos, and anytime people comment or subscribe, makes me feel really good, makes me feel like what I'm doing is hopefully making a difference in your drumming life. Catch you all next time. Thanks a lot for watching.